Okay, so at the Aubrey Park Hotel in Hemel Hempstead, the site for the To Hell and Back press conference next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. for the show at the 6th of September at York Hall. I'm sat awkwardly on a bench with Josh Goodwin and Steve Goodwin. Obviously Josh is the guy that heads up Goodwin Sports. We've got Steve that obviously heads up the bigger Goodwin Promotions, and obviously not joined today by Olivia, who does Olivia Goodwin main events. So guys, we're just wanting a bit of a relaxed chat as much as we can, sat on a bench in the middle of in the afternoon, just to talk about Steve. First of all, you've been signing a lot of fighters recently. Do you just want to kind of tell everyone how it's been the last few weeks since obviously I come on board and everything else like that?
Well, I mean, the whole thing is we've come on board, Kev, because we really need the help now. We're managing 40 plus fighters now, and we're getting inquiries, you know, by the bucket load, which is great, and it shows how well we're doing. But I think it's important that we manage them, but manage them well, and with a team helping out yourself, Josh, Olivia. The fighters are going to get 100% commitment, 100% attention, and they're going to get first class service. And I think that's important, because sometimes in boxing, when I look from the outside, when I started, I felt that people are taking on too much work and not being able to deliver what the fighters need, and we don't want to fall into that bracket. We're going to be able to deliver everything that they need, and that's what it's about, and you're going to be an integral part of that alongside Josh.
So for those that don't know, what does my role entail? Obviously I've been doing your interviews recently, I've been doing your commentary for a while. For people, managers out there watching as well as fans, that just let people know where you see my role and how, you know, the structure is with me and Josh, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think the day-to-day running of the boxing operation will be yourself and Josh, and Olivia will be helping out, but maybe you two will be running the integral part. The matchmaking will be shared by both of you, and obviously the plan's going to be that we'll be having meetings every single morning about boxing and where we're going, and we'll have that every day, and then you'll be able to carry those things out. You'll be there for the boxers throughout, you know, every day they'll be able to contact you. You'll be a major part of helping the event organising on the day, and obviously helping with the sponsors that we're getting on board, with the new inquiries we're getting for that, and running all the boxing operations. It's going to be a really exciting time. The boxers are going to get lots of shows, and you know, I think everybody's on a win-win position, and for you it gives you an opportunity now to develop a massive role within our organisation.
So Josh, 20th of September,
yep.
Portsmouth Pyramid Centre, which will be what show will it be?
What do you mean?
As in, how many shows you've done? Obviously you've got your promoter license, this will be your third show. So tell us a little bit about the Portsmouth one. Obviously why you've decided to take the Portsmouth show on. Obviously we've been working quite closely together, haven't we? So it's in terms of the day-to-day, as Steve said, but what made you take on the Portsmouth one? What do you think is the why you chose that one?
Because I like to try out different things, and I've done two at York Hall now, and I wanted to try something different at Portsmouth, and meeting Michael Ballingow was something I was really interested in doing. So my dad signed forward more, he's got him on my show there. It's going to be a good show, I think.
So obviously you're still the youngest promoter in the world. I think is it still now at 19? Still the youngest promoter?
I believe so.
And obviously Olivia before that was the youngest promoter as well. Is that right?
Yes, I beat her to it, so that's always a plus.
So also you've got other shows this year that are yours at Goodwin Sports?
Yeah, I've got 27th at York Hall, and then I believe 11th October I'm doing a joint promotion with you. Hopefully you get your promoter's license, so it should be fun.
I can't believe this, he's now getting the promoter's license, give him a job and now he wants to take over.
So that's the plan, isn't it? I mean, that's the plan obviously to do. So explain, Josh and Steve, explain to, and obviously with me I suppose we'll get my promoter's license, explain to the people kind of what the setup is. People might be a little bit confused about Goodwin Sports, Goodwin main events, obviously Campion Promotions and Goodwin Promotions. How does it all fit in? How does it all work?
Well, we're basically all running our individual promotional companies, which is that everybody wants to develop their own identity. Josh wants to be a promoter in his own right, and it's fair that he has the chance to do that, and to do that. And by signing the fighters that I do under management, it enables my fighters to be able to get on more shows. It gives us a chance to get on your shows when they're up and running, Olivia's, Josh's. It just creates a massive opportunity for fighters and much more benefit for them. So, and it gives everybody their own identity and their own chance to develop their own promotional skills, and I think this is what it's all about, really.
So if there's, I mean, as you've grown as a group, and like I say, I've come on board, and what do you think the main criticisms people have had of the Goodwin Boxing, Goodwin Sports of it? What do you think are your main criticisms you've had from fans or people from the outside, and how would you come back for that? One, for instance, is that I hear a lot is obviously you haven't come from a boxing background.
Yeah.
Another one we've heard of is that Josh and Olivia don't run their own promotional companies, it's run by you, and there's, I know that's different. I work with Josh on a day-to-day. I probably talk with Josh more than I do with yourself, so it's just explain to people how you'd like to combat some of the criticisms you've both had.
I'll deal with the first one about them not coming from a boxing background. The most recent one I think I saw on Facebook was somebody said I didn't take any punches. So let's go through the boxing background.
I'll punch if you want.
No, I don't think you need a boxing background to know how people should be treated. And I don't think you need a boxing background to know how people should be promoted and looked after and cared for and everything like that. So I think that's important. I think that a lot of people who have been in boxing a long time are traditionalised in doing things in the same way. And I think it's a massive advantage coming from outside the sport, because you could look in and say this is what's done well, this is what's not done so well. And I think that's a huge advantage. It's for people to say that because I didn't come from a boxing background that was a disadvantage is nonsense. Just because you've done the same thing for 20 years doesn't make you any good at it. We're doing this for 4 years and I'd say I'm extremely good at what I'm doing, and I think the fighters I look after in the majority would agree, apart from the ones I've had to get rid of for various reasons. So I think that's fair. In terms of taking punches, that would be a fair assessment in terms of understanding the actual particular boxing style. So from my personal point of view, I accept that. However, Josh has done amateur boxing, you're a professional boxing coach, so I don't really see how that's a valid criticism. It doesn't mean that the head man of an organisation has to have taken the punches. And I think it's very important that you've got people around who have an understanding of the intricacies of the boxing skill so that the right matches are made. And I think we've dealt with that, so that's absolute garbage.
And I think also you can't run a promotional arm without people around you helping you, so like not just but obviously other trainers, other managers, other coaches, and these are all people that have taken punches or been experienced in the game for a very long time. So it's not just the fact you haven't took punches, you've got a lot of people around you that do know boxing. So
I've got legal skills, I've got skills in understanding contracts, which people in boxing wouldn't have. I know the difference between a good contract and a bad contract, and if we're going for a more intricate contract, we can get lawyer help. So these are the things that boxers need. They don't need the fact that I've got I might have taken a lot of punches to the head. That's not going to help them. The fact that I can promote them well, I'll be able to help them in their business world, in their tax positions, understanding their financial aspects, and be able to develop them and look after them as people has got to be more important than the nonsense. I mean, a number of years involved in sports is rubbish.
Okay, so and Josh, obviously we see recently that you had a bit of criticism, people saying that your dad's building the fallacy that you're obviously running your own promotional arms. How would you combat that criticism? What would you like to say to people about the fact that people have been saying that?
I do find that quite insulting, because I'd love them to come down to where we work and then see what I do for a day and then say that, because from 9 till 5 and taking phone calls late, because even you call me late, we used to talk about stuff all the time. So I do find that quite insulting, but they can think what they want, but we all know the truth. So
do you think it's an open invitation that anybody that wants to make those insults and criticisms that Josh doesn't know what he's doing, open invite, come to the office for a day and see, and then you'll retract it. But don't write these things without knowing what you're talking about. So if you want to come to the office for a day, see what we all do, and then actually write that, we'll accept it. But don't write it without knowing, because it's nonsense. I think it's fair.
I think it's fair. I think it's you're always going to get that criticism when you have got the 3 promotional arms as you go. But as you covered earlier, I think it works benefits for everyone to be able to understand that to be a promoter, you've got to be a promoter, right? So obviously, the long-term plan is Josh and Olivia will take it forward in the future, and it's good for them to get experience now. Yeah, absolutely.
And what do you think you're going to bring to the role then, coming forward?
Good looks. And I've known boxing. I've been a pro coach for just over 3 years, and I think I've worked hard to. I sort of come out of nowhere, didn't I? Come a bit of a flash and then come through. I was very well looked after by Dean Powell and that. Obviously, I've been doing that house second for the Warrens for a number of years, and they've always looked after me, and that's been a great experience. So, you know, I'm quite dynamic, I'm quite relentless, and if I want to, I go after it. So, but, you know, I come with the same sort of morals as you guys, and I think that's why we hit it off them years ago, Steve, is that I'm decent, I don't like to tuck anyone up, and, you know, just kind of work hard and treat people fair. So that's what I think I'll give. You know, I'm still relatively young as well, I'm 33, so I've got a lot of time left in this job to do, and lots to learn, and yeah, that's what I think.
You don't think I've got a lot of time left then?
You never can tell. No, look, you know, it's just a case of, you know, it's a long-term plan, right? It's we don't want to be a flash in the pan. It's about building fighters and building the business and the professional arm. So yeah, that's what I think. Look, it's a great opportunity for me. I'm pleased that I got the job. I'm glad that you selected me, because it wasn't really offered out, was it? It was just kind of a role that you.
I don't tend to do that.
Yeah, yeah. It just sort of, you know, you came to me and said this is the offer, and obviously here I am. So yeah, no, it's that's what I think I'll and hopefully I'll do a good job. And the matchmaking's a different thing for me. Me and Josh will be doing that, and you know, I think we do a good job. All the shows you've done, we've always talked through the fights anyway, and 9 times out of 10 we get it right, don't we?
Boxing is one of those sports, anything can happen. One punch changes everything, so you can't be 100%, can you?
You can never get it all right, can you? There's going to be times where you're going to get it wrong, but 9 times out of 10 between us we can generally get it. But we'll see, won't we? As we look after the matchmaking now, we'll find out.
I think the other thing that we've been dealing with lately, and I think is that a lot of a few people have been saying that they feel that we should concentrate on the higher quality fighters, and those that maybe haven't got the aspirations of British titles we shouldn't deal with. We spoke about this in depth as well, haven't we, Kev? So
yeah, I mean that was one of the things, isn't it? I mean, people were saying that obviously as your stable's growing now, that you should perhaps get rid of some people that you've been looking after, and you know, how would you like to combat that? How would you like to say why would you want to keep the guys that are on for British levels, whereas the guys that, you know, are only going to get a Masters or a Southern area or whatever? How would you?
My view is always the same. I'm not there just to help those that are going to. I mean, hopefully we'll have world champions, European champions, and British champions. But to some guys, take Chris Aguiadua for example. His dream is to win a Southern area title. He's had 3 attempts. He hasn't done it yet. But I'm going to make sure he gets a 4th attempt. And for him, that's his World Cup, that's his aspirations. Why shouldn't we help somebody achieve those aspirations? And if somebody else's dream is to win a Masters title, why should we not facilitate somebody who that might be their level of ability? Why should we not facilitate them of getting their dream of holding a belt aloft in front of their fans and showing to their kids that they've won a belt? Just because they're not going to be a British champion. We're about helping everybody. I will be happy if in 5 years' time we have 4 British champions, a European champion, Commonwealth champions, and we've still got those guys that have got a dream of winning a Masters title. We're still helping them, because I think they're just as important as somebody that's going to win a British title.
They still go through the same things, don't they? They still have to sell the tickets, they still have to go through the training, and you know, I suppose it's equally as important to do it. Yeah, absolutely. So looking after, treating everyone the same regardless of the ability, isn't it? That's
all human beings, and all nice people if they're working with us, because we won't have them if they're not nice people. And to be honest, I will get as much satisfaction on the 11th of October with Kevin Greenwood winning a Masters title as I would with Richard Comey winning this Commonwealth title, and that's God's honest truth. And yet I accept the title is not the same, but for me it'll make my year for Kevin Greenwood to hold a belt aloft on the 11th of October.
Alright, so the next show is the 6th of September.
Yeah.
That's the next one. Yeah, to hell and back, Michael Devine, Danny Connor. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we bring this awkward sitting on the bench in the field?
I think it's fair to thank everybody for the support, really. We've had a lot of very good feedback from people through Facebook, Twitter, and you know, we've got our open house press conference. I think it's really to thank all those that have been positive, thank everybody that's been critical if it's been constructive. Anybody that's been destructive in the criticism, well, they don't count, so we're not thanking them, but I think we're always welcome. Always constructive criticism is really good for us, isn't it? I mean, we're always going to make mistakes. It's just
improving the product, isn't it? And just kind of, you know, there's going to be things. I mean, we always talk. Josh is perhaps the biggest critic. He's the guy out of all of us that will. Me and you tend to get a bit excited, don't we? But it's always Josh is the level head, and I think that's what people don't see. I think because you're not on camera very much, Josh. I think people don't see what you do and the level headedness you bring, and Olivia as well. I mean, Olivia's very passionate about boxing, isn't she? And she's obviously fully into it as well. But
I think you're right. I think people do not realise how much input Josh has. I mean, he has a tremendous amount of input, and 9 times out of 10 he's right. I hate to say it, but he is. So we just have to, you know.
I might be young, but my boxing knowledge is up there with most other people.
I'd agree. I trust your knowledge against most people, so I really would. And now with Kevin there as a coach as well, it's just going to be fantastic. And I think in the next couple of years we'll probably move on, maybe get our own gym and stuff like that. So that's something in the pipeline. As I say, we never stop. We're always thinking of new ideas, always thinking of new ways to improve, and always thinking of ways to help our boxers. And long may you come and sign with us, because if you sign with us, you'll always get 100% commitment from all of us.
Right, well, thank you guys. I think that's brought it to an end.
Let's move on.